They didn't come back big time till Abdul-Malik was there, because the government told him it's okay, Abdul-Malik is gonna. So he became very popular amongst everybody. But Imam Musa, bad example. And right now, I haven't heard of one demonstration in Oakland, in the Bay Area. Do you know how many? Now they got big centers. They got 4 or 5 centers all over, and they don't say nothing. The people I know say they don't say nothing in the khutbahs about it. Nothing. They don't demonstrate. They don't do nothing. Okay. So the point I'm making is, records are made to be broken in track and field, swimming, and everything else. Records are meant to be broken in the movement. That's what we've done. We've already broken the record. Longevity, we've broken the record. Ability, broken the record. Consistency, broken the record. Visualizing, visualization, mission orientated, staying focused on what you're doing, we've broken the record. You got to remember, the Dar al-Islam was hit with one light punch and it dropped. That's all they didn't do no whole series and nothing but Dar. Bam, and it dropped. Okay. Now, we're not going to have any Imam Jamilism here either. Well, we haven't. What's Jamilism? Have you noticed that you don't hear nothing coming from Imam Jamil's community? Nor have you heard anything. Nor did anybody from the very beginning have any fundraisers or nothing. The brothers came from other cities here when we had a program, right? But why they didn't do nothing? They're the deputy chief, they're the this, that, and another. Why? Because they moved on Imam Jamil many times. The 2 main ones was 96, when they have the dope dealer, supposed got shot there. I remember that down there. And he was they had him in jail for such and such and such. Then the guy went before the press and told him, the police, okay, he got out. But when the feds is on you, you got to be super, like if you beat a big state case and you're a gangster, you think you're home free. No, the state is the custom. The state lets you do that half the time, or they might be working at it, but they turn everything over to the feds that they know. Silver platter, there's a law against that. It's called the silver platter law. You don't hear nothing about it nowadays, but I studied it back in the late 60s, early 70s. When the feds, if the state burglarize your house, they get information and it's illegal, they can go and they can't use it, but they turn it over to the feds. So when it comes up, where did you get this information? We got it from the state. Okay. So, and then we just went off of, we built our case later on. Okay. Now, so with Imam Jamil, they tried to set him up once. 159 times. But on the 160th time, they got him on the weapons and other stuff. So 162, they studied Imam Jamil perfectly. And Jamil is a little high-strung. He's a little high-strung. And he's good with weapons. I mean, if you don't know how to shoot, he teach you how to shoot. He was a real underground personality, and he believes that stuff. He not just, he actually, he believes it. And maybe his quietism about and revolution by the book and all of that. But the white man believed that was just a show. That in his heart, he's still the same revolutionary. What he's going to do is use this Islam, this Muslimism, to get right on back to the regular revolution and everybody, you know. And so anyway, that's why you notice he wouldn't even, you could ask him 100,000 questions on revolution, and you would get salat, maybe a little zakat, that's about it. I don't know anybody. Now the guy's a friend of mine. He wouldn't mention, the only time he mentioned the stuff to me, really, I mean, I know how to pick it, I know how to get at it, but he would never fess up. Yeah, well, this is what we'll do on the side. This, me and he just, yes.
You know, I asked him a question one time.
Right.
He said, the questioner knows more about it than the one being questioned.
Same thing Jim B said, that the prophet said to you know, anyway. The point is about staying focused on what you're doing. Okay, when I came here, now I'm coming here with maximum training. I mean, by the time I came here, I'm 20-something years in the tussle. So I'm not going to learn a whole lot, but you pick up a little. And when they had that, what's the name, them took over B'nai Brit, or B'nai Brit in the city hall down there, and Islamic Center. The Hanafi movement, evidently it wasn't fully infiltrated, or they wouldn't have been able to pull that off. But the day after they did that, what do you think the government did in D.C.? That's why I came here. Said if I can last 5 years in D.C., I'll have the whole game. I mean, Allah knows everything. But in human terms, I know everything human beings know about the game. I mean, about survival. And it was true. It's true. They'll throw everything at you. But one thing I knew where I was coming, and I knew who I was going to meet. And they had all kind of little old dumb stuff, time after time after time after time. It has not worked, and I don't think it will work, because we managed ourselves according to the realities of the time. You know, when I first got here, I was looking for a place to do a little masjid, so my America says, well, we're selling the Muslim house. And I'd been there a few times, I'd spoke there. I didn't know they called it the House of Terror and all that, though. I didn't know it was the best known house. And all I knew is when I walked out of the house every morning, walked down the hill by the ranger station and ran through Rock Creek Park, you know, Beach Drive, the river running down there. I ran through there every morning. And sometimes you could go way back in the park and big mule deer and stuff is back there. It would make no difference where I go. When I went to any clearing, it'd be a ranger, police there. I didn't know that the Negroes here had, whatever they was calling it, IGA, was they called IGA?
Islamic Guerrilla Army.
Islamic Guerrilla Army. And they used to practice at Rock Creek Park. And they used the ranger stations for, you know, for targets who were gonna move across the road. And that's how you move troops. Sarge and all of them was in it. I mean, they probably still sergeants now, like they were sergeants before then. But anyway, so Finally, I said, well, let me see here. How is it that now I know I get the treatment in California, but how I get police, I don't care where I go. So I started ducking back in the woods sometime, off the trail, just to have a little fun. And zip, 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 you see a little trail from the animal trail. Sure, who he is. It didn't make no difference. When I came out, wherever I came out, wasn't waving, but that they was looking down and looking over to that way, but they was right there to let me know you got friends here. So anyway, long story short, the IGA, half of the people that was coming around had been associated with all of that Mickey Mouse stuff. They wasn't telling me nothing. I survived on instinct, like natural instinct. Sisters was in on it. If I didn't cooperate with them, they'd get on the phone bank. You know how girls is on the phone. Good God Almighty. They'd make Imam and Musa, the big monster, and I don't even know nobody hardly, to get on there to tell them they lying. So, I mean, and Bar Amika says, well, you could use the Muslim house. I said, okay. I use it for a while. I use it for, if I came here in the summer of '89, I didn't move out till January 1st, somewhere like that. So I used it for about 6 months, 5.5 to 6 months. In the meantime, Mark Amika is rubbing me on the back. And I'm looking at all the Negroes. And so Mark Amika is telling me, well, you come on out and you could use the farm. You could live on the farm. So I'm from the farm. There's 32 acres right out, and it's nice. It's got a lake on it, you know. The lake is full of fish. Shoot, I used to take a bucket and fill it up with bread and dump it down in the water and just pull it up. And I catch all the fish I want, a bucket load of fish. Anyway, so I had a lot of books, so I took them. He said, well, you're going to need somebody to put your books. You can bring them out to the farm. So I took them out and I was putting them in the garage, 2-car garage. And I looked around. He said, this is the farm. I said, this is the farm. I said, oh yeah, I hang here. Shoot, I thought, I was thinking of the farms like we had, like, a shack and all of that stuff, no running water, no, you know what I mean? I was thinking Arkansas farm, 1942, 48, stuff like that. But this had a big house and everything. And anyway, so because I was checking things out, I'd come to realize that Mark Amika was managing and had managed literally every Negro in the area. And Mark Amika, so I used that. So when we bought the Masjid around there, Mark Amika did work, he fixed. So one time he came to Juma, and I was saying, we built this here, we did to let everybody know. I don't know if you remember that we did this. He was mad. And then one time, something happened and they needed some money, about $10,000 to do some remodeling over there. And he called me, I was in California. And I said, oh, I sent it to you overnight. And I said, no, I'm still living on the farm for free. because he thinks that I'm a poor guy. You know, I mean, I look as poor as you can get, you know. That was before these days of spending any money. I mean, I had a whole lot of money, because I didn't spend none on nothing but gasoline, stuff like that. But luxuries, hey, the day I got married around there, I went and bought a mattress then on 8th Street. That's when I bought a mattress. Not a lot of stuff to go on it, but a mattress. And then after time, a couple of years, we got a refrigerator, a stove. We even got a stove after a couple of years. But anyway, my biomedical, I studied everything here. Like everywhere I went, I studied it. And the reason that we survived is that a lot of them protected us. And also the incorporation of the knowledge and methods. And remember the CD I gave away yesterday called System Analysis? I don't know if I put out one. System Analysis. We, like a big computer, man, you examine the system, or if something go wrong, they bring in a system analysis analyst to find out what went wrong. That's the way we view the movement, that we're a system analyst, that we have to analyze the system. What has went wrong with them, what probably will go wrong with them, how the people operate. How to go on automatic pilot, when you go on automatic pilot, right? What is automatic pilot? You know? Okay, so we have a bigger job than Imam Khomeini. We don't have no comps. We're not a Masjid, and we're black. No big deal. But if you, that's three strikes, you out. It ain't 2 strikes, it's 3 strikes. 3 whole strikes, not a ball or a jump or nothing. That, you are black. Now a lot of people don't realize what that means. But if you're born in a certain era, you know what it means. If you've been overseas where everybody comes from over here, you know what it means. If you've lived with the Negro here and you know the difference between what they call light skin and dark skin is just the day and night. And don't be from the deep south, it's pitiful. But it exists, it's real. So here you come. You ain't got nothing going for yourself, but you believe in Allah, stuff like that. Other than that, you're through. That's the way they look at it. What you have to do is you have to analyze, and you have to study, and you have to plan. Okay, I'm gonna speed up a little bit. So everything that happened in the past, we had to anticipate. What are the people going to do? Anticipate means that that's what As-Sabiqun do. You look ahead and you visualize ahead. And the way you stay focused is that it's just like a championship fighter. They want to know why they keep fighting on and on and on until they look like a stumble ball. They can't talk, and all they do is get in the ring and get beat up because they was once a champion. And they keep saying they know what it looked like. And if I hit the right thing, I might pull it off. You see what I mean? That's the way these, it's not nostalgia, but once you focus in on the possibility of a good place, or let them call it utopia or Shangri-La, all of that, once you get it in your mind, it's too late. You can't do anything else. once you went down the smorgasbord and tasted the stuff, and you used to garbage cocaine, give you a backache, a headache, and all kind of stuff according to what they cut it with, and you get that, oh yeah, I don't want that no more. You actually, if you're smart, you won't take that. No, I don't want that. You got freeze that I don't want to be froze. I want to ting-a-ling-a-ling. I don't want that anymore. That's the way, once you get a Quranic vision of history, of possibilities, let me clarify one thing. I am not talking about this book view of utopia where everything is perfect. I'm not talking about that type. I'm talking about the other meaning of utopia, a good place. A good place. You see what I mean? Not where people don't have no nafs. You notice the new movies for the last, I don't know when, The Giver and all those movies. The only way that they make a good area is they gotta shoot something in you to kill your nafs and desires and all that. Well, Allah put nafs in people. The only thing we have to do is serious tazkiyah bil nafs. We want a world where the nafs have been, they're still there. They slip every now and then. But the general order of the day is that the people have begun to practice purification of nafs, and the nafs is on a much higher level. In the world we live in, the nafs or the shaitan rule. This is the world that we don't like. Because the nafs, as it says, have become the illah, the little god. Okay? So that technically is a type of shirk. So we're still moving toward monotheism, where the worship is for Allah, and the control and the management and the use of the nafs. Not for them to be the king. Who's the next king? Who did y'all voted for the president? Mr. Nafs, he's running. And who's in it? Who's the Congress? Well, they're the followers of, they're in the Nafs party. The Nafs party has won most of the seats. Is that Amir Mu'minun? Is that Amir Mu'minun? I told you, you got my vote. Hey, man, you got my vote. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so okay, so everything we do, we're learning from it. Everything we do, we're learning from it. All the gravitational pulls of shaitan, we talked about that before. We done talked about tazkiyah bil nafs as a booster, you know, and how much power it takes to break the pull of gravity of these types of people and situations. But the thing that we want to talk about, that I want to get to before we lose sight on things, is going back to California, and also what we're going back to California. Remember we said that we reject Imam Jamilism in practice. We also reject violence. Why would we reject violence? Because look how merciful Allah has been to us by rejecting violence. We're not against jihad, we're pro-jihad because the Quran is in the right circumstances. Okay, we're not the only thing in our environment. We know that struggle, that materialist struggle, has always been used against the people. So the first World Trade Center was used to get all the laws that they wanted. The second World Trade Center was to stamp it with it, the Muslims with it. And now, things are going our way because people are beginning to study it, but that's almost, what, 15, 20 years ago? 15 years ago. Don't nobody care who blew up the World Trade Center. They have TV shows saying, yeah, it looked pretty, it looked too good. The people that lost their family, they have programs that say this stuff that we don't believe that. Flight 800, you remember Flight 800? When they shot the missile out. The families, they still having programs. 10 years ago, recently, they have annual meetings that we don't like what they said. So, but it's like Kennedy. They can show all of Kennedy getting killed, his head, they show his head, pops, meat flying out of his head. Who cares? Nobody cares. Over 50 years ago, 55, 54 years ago. Who cares, right? That's why we stay on their case. About Imam Jamil, about all the other stuff that they be doing. Why? So we're not going to let them forget. And we're not going to let them use Imam Jamilism on us. That was Mukhtar's goal. He said it worked on Jamil. We harassed him until they say that Imam Jamil told his community if they do anything, come around and mess with me again, that's what they said. I know they're lying. He wouldn't say that. And knowing that half, 98% of the people in his organization is the police. But the police use that. And they came to harass him and arrest him. And then they, they lie, they say he shot him and stuff like that. Okay. Well, I don't know if y'all ever saw any of those things. Did anybody ever see any of those videos from Oakland?
I saw a couple.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them.
Did you ever see the one where Mukhtar is yelling and pointing at me and calling names and stuff?
Which one?
Yeah. Outside or
Yeah.
inside?
Yeah.
Okay, inside.
No, I didn't see. I didn't watch
Okay,
that.
inside when I'm telling people take it easy.
No, I didn't watch
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it was like y'all two were kind of both doing a khutbah at the same time. Was it that one? There's one scene of some.
Well, yeah, they come in when I'm giving cookbah.
Yeah. You know,
Okay,
giving a
now.
khutbah. He came up there.
Okay, we actually technically, I ain't gonna say I bought it, but technically I did. Now he's gonna come in and act a fool. What would 97% of people do?
React to you.
They would react. They would shoot him, they would blow his head off. They would blow his head off. Right? This is what they would do. The government knew that's what I was going to do. Because they know how I talk to them. I talk to them out there. They know that nigga, he ain't scared of nobody. You come in there, all you got to do is act a fool. And have the lowest one on the totem pole do it. And have his big fat wife go along with it. This is an insult upon insult. You gotta respond. If you was gambling, you could have cleaned the house up on that day. Bet on Imam Musa, he's gonna be patient. And that ain't possible. I'll give you 100 to 1 odds. 100 to 1. They would have given you that. The government would have. Abdul-Malik them would have gave. Everybody would have gave those odds. That's why you would see me in there saying, relax, stand down, take it easy, right? Okay. So therefore, just incident after incident. You mind if I would just want to show a few more incidents and make the point. Remember yesterday the brother was talking about, man, ain't no movement in only movement in my Nigeria is the brother. I said, the brother that's my homeboy. I'm trying to tell him. Alama Zakzaki. I said, that's my homeboy, man. What are you talking about? Now you remember Crescent, how he was in the paper every day, all the time. You don't hear nothing about it? Alama Zakzaki turned Nigeria out. Why is Press and all of them not doing nothing? I asked them a simple thing. I said, look here, now when I go to Iran, every time I would go, it would be some sisters or some brothers going through customs with me, coming from Nigeria, going to Qom. Or when I'm leaving, or we had a big conference, I have the pictures of all the brothers, some of them was martyred. We at the conference, we all sitting in a long row, and they all filling me in up on what's going on, you know what I mean? Why ain't nobody talking about it? He was Shia, he did the most work that you could do with Christians and everybody else. He was independent. Hey, why don't nobody have, okay, now. Sabotage, death threats against Imam Musa, and grand larceny of Masjid accounts. That's never happened. That's just totally illegal. We don't worry about it. Now we're going to go back and we're going to hit the courts now. We'll be gone no later than Wednesday. We're not going to, don't worry. We ain't staying around for nothing. We got to go. Because we just, you know, the time is, when the time hits, you got to go. Imam Musa assaulted in Oakland. Assault is real. Like Khadijah run up for me from behind and actually blocked me, you know. Technically, I have to admit it. The big old fat lady knocked the poor brother down. I mean, I hit the roll and stood up because you can't tell nobody. But they don't have no right to do that. You know why I'm doing this all the time? So people will see Imam abdul-Alim Musa facing attacks and death threats. These Negroes, if I go out on the trail, and you walk down the trail first, and you way down there, but you can see up there at the end, they up there hollering, yeah, you gonna get you out there. I said, well, I run this, you know the trail I run, I'm going back around this way instead of the loop, and I ain't going up that trail. You know, as many trails you can take when you get down there at the Y, double Y, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, at the bridge. And they didn't all ran with me up there many times. I said, well, I'm going around where it's real private. It's got a lot of hills. So I walk down the hills and run up the hills. Boy, I get you in good shape. And it's all woods and everything like that. I said, that's where I'm going. You want to see me, nigga, come on out there. You know, you can wait out there, and you can snipe, you can do anything you want. But they don't have a right to do that. Technically, that's stalking. Super stalking. Forget about calling the police and telling them I'm trespassing.